We need to have a serious talk. That money sitting in your savings account? It's dying right now while you're watching this. By the end of this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how much money you've already lost. And I can already tell you, it's way more than you think. Inflation is eating your savings alive. That $100 you saved last year is worth $97 today. But what if you could just chill and watch your money grow automatically? It's not magic. And if a semi-aquatic rodent can figure it out, you definitely can. Okay, focus. I spend most of my time in water, but even I understand something humans don't. Your money needs to be working while you're not. Your money in a savings account is the dead grass. It looks like money, but it is just sitting there, slowly becoming less useful. And you're letting it happen because nobody explained how this actually works. Inflation is just a fancy word that means stuff costs more over time. This happens with everything. Gas, coffee, rent, all of it. It just means stuff costs more over time. Same groceries, more money. On average, prices go up about 2 to 3% every year. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Doesn't sound like much, right? But here's what happens to your $100 if it just sits there for 10 years. Year 1, you lose a little value. Year 3, a bit more. Year 5, it's getting noticeable. Same money, smaller pizza. After 10 years, your $100 might only buy what $70-something used to buy. The number still says 100, but it's lying to you. And here's what really gets me. Most people know this is happening. They complain about prices going up, but they don't connect it to their own savings. They don't realize their money is getting weaker every single day. Worst place to keep money? Under your mattress. Obviously. Zero protection from anything. But who's the thing that might make you uncomfortable? Your savings account? It's not that much better. Banks are a business. They take your money, they use it to make more money, and they give you back a tiny sliver of the profits. Most savings accounts pay almost nothing in interest. We're talking fractions of a percent. Meanwhile, inflation is eating 2, 3, sometimes more % of your purchasing power. You're slowly losing ground by doing what everyone told you was the responsible thing. The interest you earn might buy you a few coffees, but the purchasing power you lose to inflation, that's hundreds of dollars. Every year, over decades, that adds up to thousands of dollars in lost purchasing power. Real money that could have bought you real things. Not because you spent it, not because you made bad choices, just because you parked it somewhere and trusted it would be fine. Now look, before you panic and do something weird, you absolutely need some money that's easy to access. An emergency fund. For when your car dies. Sucks, or something unexpected comes up. That money should be boring and accessible. Savings account is fine for that. But everything beyond that? If it's just sitting there losing value year after year, that's the problem we need to talk about. Okay, imagine you're a squirrel. You have acorns. You could bury them and hope they're still there in spring. That's saving. You end up with the same acorns. Maybe less if someone else finds them. Or you could plant the acorn. Let it grow into a tree that makes hundreds of new acorns. That's putting your money to work. Yes, I'm a capybara giving you squirrel advice. Just go with it. There are lots of ways to put your money to work. Stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses.
But the general principle is the same. Money that's invested in something productive has the potential to grow.
Money that just sits there doesn't. It's like showing up to work and doing nothing. Now I know what you're thinking. But Capy, investing is scary. What if I lose everything? Valid concern. Risk is real. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. But here's the thing about risk that most people get wrong. Doing nothing feels safe, but it's not. Keeping all your money in savings feels like the cautious choice, but you're guaranteed to lose purchasing power. That's also a risk. You're just choosing a slow, invisible one over a fast, visible one. There's no option where risk doesn't exist. There's only choosing which risks you're willing to take. Now here's the part that actually matters most. More than what you invest in. More than how much you start with. Time. That's the real secret. When your money grows, and then that growth also grows, it starts to compound, like building muscle. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. The longer it rolls, the bigger it gets. But here's the key. The beginning of the hill matters way more than the end. Someone who starts early with a little bit of money often ends up with more than someone who starts late with a lot of money, just because of time. If you're young, this is your superpower. You have decades for compound growth to work. That advantage is worth more than you realize. If you're older, you've still got time. Less than before, sure, but way more than if you wait another 10 years and have this same realization. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is now. And here's the beautiful part about long-term thinking. Once you set something up and commit to it, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to check constantly. You don't have to react to every headline. In fact, that usually makes things worse. The people who do best over long periods are usually the ones who set up something reasonable and then forget about it. Very capybara energy. Now, some things that will mess you up if you let them. Checking constantly. Markets go up and down every day. If you watch every wiggle, you'll drive yourself crazy and probably make emotional decisions you regret.
Trying to predict the future. I'll wait until things drop, then I'll jump in.
Except nobody, and I mean nobody, can consistently time these things. Panicking when things look scary. The news makes money by scaring you. Every dip feels like the end of the world when you're living through it. But historically, things tend to recover. That doesn't mean they always will. But panicking rarely helps. And finally, thinking you'll figure this out later. Later has a way of becoming never. The cost of waiting isn't obvious, but it's very real. This is just educational content about money. But I am here to tell you that understanding how money works, really works, is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. Learn about this stuff. Read books. Talk to a professional who actually knows your situation. Figure out what makes sense for your life. But please, please, don't just let your money sit there losing value because you never got around to thinking about it. You know what's funny about humans? You stress about money constantly. Always worried. Always checking. But the actual path to building wealth is kind of boring. Learn the basics. Make a reasonable plan. Start early. Be patient. Don't panic. So here's what I want you to take away. Understand what inflation does to your money. Know that doing nothing has a cost, even if you can't see it. If this made sense, and I hope it did, because I'm a semi-aquatic rodent explaining compound interest, subscribe. And remember, chill more, panic less. Let time do the heavy lifting. I'll be here, eating grass, calmly observing your financial decisions. With love,